The following broadcast may contain explicit language and adult themes. Viewer discretion is advised. The opinions expressed in this broadcast are those of the hosts, talent, and guests, and do not reflect the opinions, views, and standards of Pyro Media Enterprises, affiliates, subsidiaries, or its members.
What's going on, kings, queens, and the entire spectrum in between? It's your boy Kwame, and we are back for another episode of Kwame Speaks. I am beyond excited to talk to this queen on today. She is my sister from another mister. She is just a public health guru. She is one of them people that will fight for your rights to party. You know what I'm saying? She's everything, la-da-da-da, everybody, okay? She's for the culture. Okay, so without further ado, I'm not even going to waste any time over here. Now, remember, y'all know that this is a one-man show. Okay, so I'm the producer, I'm the tech, and I'm the host. So I need you to bear with me as I look over to the side to make sure I'm pressing the right buttons. Okay, well, we're gonna go ahead and bring on this queen right here. I am so honored to have this queen on here. She is, you know what? Let's just shut up and just bring her on. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please welcome NicoleDVick. Hey, Queen.
Yes, please push the right button, okay?
Please push the right button, because if I push the wrong button, it's going to look a little weird.
Don't play with me. You got to push the right button. And that, for all aspects of my life, push the right button. Okay?
Push the right button, okay? Push the right button.
I like that.
Push through. Okay? Well, that might be your next book, sis.
Push the right button.
Because you pushed the wrong one, honey. Don't let the cute face fool you. NicoleDVick's not the one to play with, okay?
Okay.
So, sis, just for for those who may not know, there's some people that live under a rock. There's some people that are just first time viewers of Kwame Speaks. There are people who are just coming to Pyro Media Network. For those who do not know of you, please tell them how awesome you are.
I mean, well, first of all, welcome to all new Pyro Media Network folks. Good to see you. How you doing? How your mama doing? And if you don't know me, my name is NicoleDVick. I am a lifelong resident of South Los Angeles, born and raised. Will probably die here. I mean, why not? It's a beautiful place to be. I have 20 years of public health experience. I am a mama. My daughter just turned 26 years old. I don't know how she's 26 because I'm only 30.
Right.
The gray hair is just an illusion. I don't
When you're 30, I thought you were 28.
That's what I'm trying to understand. So how is she 26 though?
I don't know. Magic?
Miracles. I am a nail art, guru. I don't know what addict. I got the nails popping. This is my latest design.
Yes.
I am an author. I have written 2 books. Dante. Kwame gave me an idea for a third one just now. I'm a doctoral student. I'm focusing on organizational change, and hopefully we'll shake up the public health world when I get up out of this school and become Dr. Vick. So
come on, Dr. Vick. That sounds real good, sis.
Because I got things that I don't learn, and I need to, people need to understand.
Yes. We have questions.
I have answers. I don't know, but
Well, Nicole, first of all, your earrings look beautiful. I just wanted to
thank
throw
you.
That out there. They look gorgeous,
and they are by a Black-owned brand. Black woman-owned brand, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's not coming to me. When it comes to me later on at 2:00 in the morning, I'll text you. You can put it in the notes.
We'll make sure we put it in the
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nicole, like what one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about was your first book, Pushing Through. And hold on, do I have it in front? Yes, I do. I do. I have it right on here. Shout out to Pushing Through.
You doing better than me because I'm like, where? I'm like, oh, I think I
My
have.
screen's a little blurry, but I think people can see it. And if you want more of NicoleDVick's Pushing Through, if you want to get a copy of your own, you can go over to www.NicoleDVick.com. Okay, so you like that little shameless plug, but in this book, you go deep diving into some really personal things, and so my question to you is, I've always, prior to TikTok, or me being on TikTok, I was really concerned about, being my quote authentic self. I felt like, church prepares you for this polished look on you, or when you are in marketing, they tell you to have this polished look, for your niche and all of these different things. And not to say that you shouldn't be professional, but at the same time, that shouldn't interfere with your authenticity. And one of the things that I love about you as a person, and also about this book, is that you are completely 100% transparent in this. And so what made you be that transparent? What gave you the courage to say, you know what? I don't care what people think. I'm going to go ahead and push on through. You like that?
I feel like it's part of my personality. I think I have always been that sharer. I'm always that one that's going to give you a story, a tidbit. That's just how I am. And it's how I am in all the spaces I occupy. When I'm a professor, I recently stepped away from teaching. I'm like, I'm going to teach you what public health is. I'm going to give you a definition, but I'm about to throw in some jewels, some things that I learned, some things that I see at work, something. So I've always been that person, like, I'm finna tell you what's the real tea. I'm going to tell you what they want you to know, but then I'm finna go ahead on and throw in the reality. So I think it's been partly, just who I am. And then I think, with social media, to your point, TikTok, there's this need for authenticity. We don't want to see the polished, makeup person. We want to see you with your bonnet on and your real struggles and your real stories, because people are looking for that. They want to see themselves. They want to know that they're not the only ones going through a thing. So it really helps when you show up as yourself and talk about like reality. Now, that don't mean tell all your business. It could mean that, but it doesn't have to be that. They just want to see you as you are. And it's really important. And you can tell the difference between TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram in that way, right? Instagram is the polished, complete with the narration and the transitions. TikTok is like, babe, I'm going to come on here and, and say a thing. And that's it.
Yeah. No, I 1000% agree with you, and that was one of the things that we talked about. You are one. I'm so blessed to have you as one of my clients. And one of the things that we talked about in terms of social media management is how you transition from each. The algorithms are so different, right? But we also talked about each of the different platforms and how they kind of interact with our brand. So, for example, like we talked about Facebook, and that's usually just your tight-knit group, right? Those are people that know you. Those are the people that, you invite into your circle. Facebook doesn't really expose you to outside of that network of people that you've allowed to be your friends, right? They don't advertise you. It's just more of a safe space within your network and your circle. And then we go into, Instagram, where we talked about, you just talked about how polished it sometimes looks, you know what I'm saying? And that's your best self. And that's typically where employers go to look. They don't really look on your Facebook. They look on your Instagram and sometimes your Twitter. I think now they're incorporating TikTok, but it's really your Instagram, because that's really where businesses go to kind of flourish. They've moved from Facebook into Instagram and stuff like that. And then we talked about, TikTok. TikTok is where I see the real me. This is how I feel. This is my unfiltered thoughts. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. and you don't have to like all of my opinions. I may not agree with something that you say, Nicole,
Right.
but that doesn't mean that we can't be friends. I may not agree with something that you did, but it doesn't mean that we can't be friends, that we can't move forward from that. I may watch you, if you like if you like I don't know,
Hog head cheese.
yeah, that's a little different. I'm a cheese fanatic, okay? I love me some cheese. But hoghead cheese,
I'm gonna look at you sideways.
I may look at you a little strangely.
And I would wonder, I thought we was friends, but yeah, I'm
I
not
thought
sure.
we were cool, and I mean, by all means, you eat your hoghead cheese, girls, but just don't bring it to my house.
You know what else is interesting about what you're talking about in regards to social media as it has evolved? And like you said, each one has their own lane. But now you start to see Facebook be like, ooh, let's do reels. And let's pay people to do the reels. And then you see Instagram starting to incorporate TikTok. So it's like they all sort of feed on each other, and then there's YouTube. And like I think YouTube has kind of started the reels too, but they're also sort of their own thing. Really interesting.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And just a quick social media tip for you. Right now, Facebook Reels are all the rage. So if you are creating TikToks, if you are creating shorts for YouTube, you can actually kill two birds in one stone, or four birds in one stone, and take whatever reel that you made or TikTok that you made and spread it throughout the entire thing. You can take that one piece and put it on Instagram Shorts, for YouTube, and Facebook Reels, because right now Facebook Reels are blowing up, and you're getting more algorithms than you would favor than you would if you were just doing regular posts. So just a quick tidbit there.
I got a couple checks, like $20, $30, but I was like, thank you.
Come on,
am I gonna send them checks back? No.
Will not. Thank you, Meta. Listen, now, one of the things that you talked about in chapter 6, it's one of the things that I had noted in your book is clarity and public health profession. Now, you talk often. I remember you had a wonderful guest for talking about it's DEI. DEI. Training and all that stuff, and one of the things that you guys pushed back on your show, NicoleDVick Live, which airs every Thursday at 6:15, shameless plug, on Pyro Media Network. But one of the things that you guys, that's probably one of my favorite shows that you've done, or favorite episodes that you've done. I mean, you've done a tremendous amount of Black Girl Magic, what I call Black Girl Magic episodes, but that was one of the ones that stands out to me because you had someone who was in DEI training, and they were talking about DEI training. And oftentimes when you have somebody in the profession, like for example, with me, I'm in brand strategy and marketing, but oftentimes when you have others that are, like us, and they're around people like them, they oftentimes will, just say, I'm just gonna mind my Black business and just do what I need to do to get a check. And that's, I'm not gonna knock people for that, because sometimes you have to have the financial stability to run your mouth. You know what I'm saying? You can't say certain things that your behind can't cash. Feel me? And I get it. It is what it is. But if you do have the opportunity to say something, you don't often hear people within their own niche or within their own space say things about their own space, especially when it comes to us. And so I found it really, really interesting about that conversation. So I said all of that to make sure that to kind of go back to Siri. She gonna talk to me.
Like, I got something to say.
I got something to say too. Nobody's talking to you, girl. But I said all of that because in this space, I want to know, what difficulties do you see in the public health realm? Disparities towards Black women, specifically, disparities towards the Black culture and the Black community, that you feel that needs to be addressed immediately, that you think would help our community and especially Black women?
It's just an interesting conversation. So in the springtime, there's National Public Health Week, the first full week of April. So, it's an opportunity to really highlight the work that public health does. And for those folks that don't know, public health is different from healthcare, right? Healthcare is individual, right? Doctor, patient, nurse, patient, healthcare professional, patient. You sick, you go in, they give you medication or whatever else they give you, you go home, right?
Yeah.
That's healthcare or personal health. Public health is community-based, it's population-based, looking at the health of communities, and communities could be Black people, it could be the city of Los Angeles, it could be the LGBTQ community, it could be children, it could be non-English speakers. So community can be defined in so many different ways, but we're looking at how do we prevent disease and promote health. So the doctor, you come in, you already have flu, and the doctor is going to give you some medication. Public health is saying, how do we prevent the population from getting the flu in the first place? That could be vaccines, whether you agree with them or not, right? That could be wear a mask. That could be wash your hands. That could be stay at home when you're sick. So anyway, that's like the quick and dirty definition of what public health is. But we all know that everybody doesn't experience life the same, right? People that don't speak English, Black people, women, we all have different experiences in society. And oftentimes they are based on things like race, class, poverty, and all those sorts of things. So for me, in my work, I really focus on things like health disparities. Well, how come Black people have worse health outcomes than other people? Why do we have high blood pressure? Why do we die earlier, right? So I think health disparities in general is one of the most important things that we need to address in America in regards to public health. And we also need to tackle racism. So you might have noticed around the time COVID came out that a lot of cities were like, we're going to tackle racism as a public health issue, because it is. Unless we start to deal with racism, we will not see any differences in the health outcomes of communities of color. There's a 900% increase in congenital syphilis in the South. I think it's specifically Mississippi, predominantly Black people. Why are Black people, Black women giving birth to babies with syphilis in 2023?
Yeah. You know what's funny, Nicole? When I was a part of Healthy Him, which was a program that was kind of spearheaded by Dr. Dante Morrison over at APLA Health. One of the things that I had learned, and I have been in, in my, I don't want to call it a hobby, but in my side hustling life, I guess, for lack of a better expression. One of the things that I really, really enjoyed doing throughout my entire life was public health. So I was a part of the AIDS Center of Queens County in New York. And then before that, I was a part of the Spark program. I was a part of different things that would help promote, LGBTQIA rights and civil rights and equality, and specifically within the sexual health and public health sector, right? And so one of the things that I have noticed and had noticed when I was a part of Healthy Him, and one of the things that I had learned, even though I felt it back then when I was in New York, but I really got the statistics over a decade of research, is that when I didn't even know, this was my first time at the time when I first joined Healthy Him, that was the first time that I had even found out about PrEP.
Wow.
And PrEP had been, I was like, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that goes to all of these dang on marches. I go to all of I'm the condom guy.
Right.
I'm the guy that knows all about safe sex and all stuff, whatever. I'm promoting it to my friends, and I didn't know about PrEP. And the reason why and it wasn't a surprise to the staff there, because we're saying, they weren't marketed to us. Yeah. Oftentimes, when PrEP first came out, they had millions of dollars being thrown at them but it was being pushed in certain communities. It was being pushed to certain people. You saw the marketing on it. I even did the research myself. You didn't see a lot of us on the covers of those marketing campaigns. You didn't see a lot of us, being marketed to. Now you see PrEP being marketed to multicultural and whatever. But before, when it first came out, do you know how many people could have been, kind of saved from having to deal with, HIV, if they would have pushed it into our community. And then let's not even, get into the fact that Black women are predominantly the higher percentage. And I'm talking to the choir. I mean, it's not like you don't know.
And they were not marketed. People were like, "Oh, I thought it was only for men." And it's like, no.
Yeah, and then they have prep for trans individuals. There's so much that it's not being marketed to communities and marginalized communities, and it's because, like you said, racism is a big deal. It is something that causes a lot of barriers. It causes a lot of pauses and thoughts when it comes to, or even us being afterthoughts. It's the reason why certain things are the way they are, and it's really frustrating. But I want to continue this conversation, but we do have to pay some bills, so let's go ahead and check out one of these sponsors, the coldest water.
Hey there, Pyro family. Quench your thirst on and off the workout floor with our sizzling partnership with the coldest water. Enjoy an exclusive deal made just for you. Simply scan the frosty QR code with your phone or catch the icy link in the chat for all their chill products. Stay hydrated and make those flames roar. All right, let's get back to the show.
Thank you so much to the coldest water. We appreciate you, helping us pay our bills.
Sure enough.
Go over and do all that. Listen to use that QR code or the link that's getting ready to be put into the chat as we speak. All right, praise God. All right, so going back to you, Nicole, we were just talking about just disparities in public health. But another thing that I wanted to, I guess my question is, what is the overall premise behind what you want people to know about pushing through?
It's honestly just it's wow, one woman's journey through life, how all these different things and experiences kind of poured into me and created the person that I am today, the social justice advocate, the public health advocate. So it's one of those books where it's like, if you are a woman or a man, obviously, of course, or whoever, right? And you're like, what am I going to do with my life next? This could be that book to help you. Dang, now I see how this played out for this person. Let me take a read and see how I can kind of forge my path as I saw her forge hers. I think that's probably the one. And then of course there's, some little drama in there, some, relationship stuff, and woo, yeah. That led into a TV show appearance. I was on the Oprah Winfrey Network.
Listen, she out there, girl. Now listen, now I want to say something about that, because I think one of the things that I get frustrated with is when people underestimate you. And I think people, like, for example, and I'm living proof, because people, when we first started Pyro Media Network, people were like, oh, he got that little company, that little company, how they say, that little company, or he in that little company, that's cute. And then we're 7 years in. But and we've grown into different subsidiaries and different entities within Pyro Media Enterprises. But I say all that because one of the things that I think people throw away is Black women who have children at a very young age, and I am so proud to hear that you are getting. What was that? Your doctorate? That's right, your doctorate. And you got your master's degree, correct, during while you were pregnant, am I correct?
No, that was undergrad, child. Oh, Lord. You want to know that? You want to hear that story real quick? The quick and dirty that one? Okay, so what happened was there was this really cute guy in high school that all the girls, thought was cute. And of course I did too. But, I was one of them little girls. I was a little chubby girl at the time. So I didn't feel, my self-esteem wasn't there yet. But for some reason he took a liking to me, probably because he was a predator. But we can talk about that later. But anyway, I walked along that path with him. Okay. Because I wanted to be liked. I was a people pleaser. I had not had that kind of attention. So, I'm just going to say this real quick before I keep going. Parents, pay attention to your children. Pour love into them. talk to them, tell them they're pretty, tell them they're smart, so that they don't have to search and yearn to hear that from other people, because they
Yes.
will continue to search for that for the rest of their lives. And
Yes.
sometimes that hit will take them down some weird paths, some dangerous paths, some BS. So anyway, I'm just walking along with this dude, convinced, that the love is there and we're going to be married and all this stuff. I was not educated. So here we go with the public health messages. Was not educated on how to navigate condom use, how to even feel comfortable going into a store and asking for condoms. All those kinds of things were not there. So I got pregnant. I was probably the summer before I started college, undergrad. So this is bachelor's degree territory. Figured out I was pregnant probably October of 1996 in my freshman year of college. At school, I went to the student health center and the lady was like, "You pregnant?" I'm like, oh. Told my mama I was pregnant at the grocery store because I figured she couldn't kill me if I told her in public. That's in the book.
Right.
And had my daughter. She was 8 weeks early, 3 pounds, 11 ounces, literally a statistic. So double statistic. I'm a teen mom. That's one statistic. Second statistic, she's born premature, which typically happens to, unfortunately, typically happens to a lot of Black babies. But she's alive, obviously. She's 26 years old. So I took her to school with me. I had her on a Wednesday, went to church on Easter Sunday, to school on Monday, and kept going. And when she got old enough, put her in the stroller. Let's go. That was just
it. I mean, it is what it is, right? Now you said something. I'm sorry, the tabs. I was holding the book. I was like, "Yeah, you're not gonna say something that's really aggressive." No, but you said something just recently about Easter Sunday, and that kind of got me into thinking about like how churches kind of how they affect conversations surrounding public health and sexual health, right? And so how did that play a part in your overall growth and navigation?
I will say there were really conversations around sexual health at my church, and kudos to any congregation that is being progressive and really kind of being open about those conversations. Because listen, just because y'all ain't talking about it, and just because your Bible may say don't do this or don't do that, it don't mean them kids ain't doing it, right?
And
so we need to prepare our children. But I will say this. After the fact, I was not shunned. I was watching a Facebook reel of a woman. She talks a lot about relationships with parents and their children. And she had done a little skit about, a young teen mom at church, and that they were telling her she wasn't allowed to participate in the choir. But the person who got her pregnant, the drummer, was allowed to still continue to play drums. I didn't have that problem. I sang in the choir. They gave me a baby shower. And so I will say their support was there. I remember the pastor's wife said, "You were not the first and you will not be the last." Like, so what's the big deal? We just gonna make sure you okay. And I will say I don't go to church anymore for whatever. It's a long story, but I never forgot that support. And I still I'm Facebook friends with my pastor and his wife. We still talk, but I just don't go. It's just that's another episode. We come back to that.
Right. We're gonna do a part 2 of that one.
They definitely. Like I said, the baby shower was there. The support was there. And I was grateful for that. But a lot of congregations may not have that same thought process or feeling. And I think it's a missed opportunity to bring those kids in and make sure that they're safe. And that baby, if the person is pregnant, making sure that child is supported as well. So I really would suggest that if you're in a position, anyone that's listening in a position to make a difference in a child's life, whatever they've done, because we do a lot of dumb stuff as kids. Instead of that, the thought process is to push them away. You need to actually bring them in closer. That's when you bring them in when they're walking down a path that's a little what's going on here. So
yeah. Now we unfortunately have to go to a commercial break.
Okay.
but I definitely want to get into, when we get back, not only your second book, Pushing Through 52 Weeks of Light in Tough Times, but I also want to talk about who is NicoleDVick overall. If you were to describe NicoleDVick, who would that be? Because there's so many different facets to Nicole, and I think this ties into this anti-niche movement that I'm seeing within the brand strategy community and the marketing community. But we're going to get back to that and deep dive into that a little bit more right after this commercial break. We'll stay tuned. We'll be right back with more of NicoleDVick.
This episode is sponsored in part by Bullet and Flight Radio. Get ready to uplift your spirit with Bullet and Flight Radio, the world's leading progressive Christian radio station. Experience the vibrant fusion of gospel house music and a rich medley of inspiration from all musical genres that'll make your heart soar. Join their extraordinary lineup of today's trailblazers, visionaries, and voices that matter, all sharing their stories and wisdom. Stay plugged in around the clock as they broadcast unmissable content 24/7. Your go-to station for all things inspiring. Become a pilot today by visiting bulletandflightradio.com. Bullet and Flight Radio. Your story, our station.
And we're black by popular demand. That's right. We are here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And we appreciate you for supporting. And thank you to all of our sponsors. And shout out to all of the newcomers to Pyro Media Network. Shout out to y'all.
Yes, so
All right.
exciting.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I'm super excited about all of the new fam and our growing family over here at Pyro Media Network. So thank you guys so much for your constant support. But we're back here because we're here to talk about the one and only NicoleDVick. So if you're just tuning in, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. But we're talking about NicoleDVick's book, Pushing Through. But she also has a second book called Pushing Through 52 Weeks of Light in Tough Times. What was your inspiration behind this one?
2020 was rough. I don't know if you remember 2020, but
What?
it was rough. It was some things that had happened, like COVID,
Yeah.
George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. All these things were happening, and then we were all secluded, right? Stay in the house, social isolation, don't go outside. And so it was kind of like, what is happening, and how do I process all of this? Because as you know, again, I work in public health. I'm not going to talk specifically about where I work. It's not really important. But the point is that for us, when there's a public health emergency like COVID, we don't go get to sit down. We busy because we're trying to make stuff happen, things out. So busy at work, COVID, and plus scared too, because I'm like, what is this thing? And then people dying, George Floyd. It's like, what is happening? How do I process all of this that I'm dealing with? I can't go outside. I'm socially isolated. And so it was like, well, let me just start to write. Let me get back to journaling. And then also, I feel like around that time, Kwame, I was doing those Tell the Truth Tuesdays or what's on my mind Wednesday, whatever it was. I was kind of going through, and I was picking these quotes and just kind of talking through them. And so then it said, well, let me put a journal together of those most impactful quotes to me, and help people use that to process their feelings as well.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yes. Now, one of first of all, I it hit me hard when you were talking about I didn't get a chance to sit down. First of all, I want to thank all of the public health people, the people, the retail personnel that had to stay during that time that did not get a break or did not get to stay shut in. That risked their lives and their own health and their own well-being to
Yes.
continue things, right? To continue our economy, to continue life as best as we knew it at that time. It was a very weird time. It was something that was unprecedented. It was something that I don't think anybody on this good green earth, the world shut down. Like it wasn't like it was a city or it was the entire world felt like it just stopped.
Yep.
And it was just really uncomfortable. It was really weird. But one of the things that I really enjoyed, one of the quotes, literally all of them, but one of them that really got to me was on page 84. And I'm a Stacey Abrams fan. So it was this quote that says, "My life has always been about making certain I accrue the skills necessary to make my ambitions real." And one of the things that the reasons why I brought that up is because one of the things that I really love about you, Nicole, is that you have so many different skills. You are just a bunch of different light bulbs in one that create this bubble of love that is NicoleDVick, right? And so, and you genuinely are one of the people. If people knew you, and to know you is to really love you, like really. But when people get to know you, you genuinely don't have you don't really you really want people to just be happy. Like you don't have an agenda. You're not looking to do anything outside of just interacting with people and just wanting them to be happy and live their best authentic lives. And you try to find as many different ways that you can learn to kind of provide that. That includes these amazing books. That includes, you just talking to them, giving them some wisdom. That includes NicoleDVick Live. That includes your nail care. That includes your styling, because you are a phenomenal stylist, honey. Like, honey, she knows how to put an outfit together.
Yes, I try.
Okay.
I just really feel like it's my responsibility to light a path. That's it.
Yeah.
Like I might not even have all the answers, but if I know that someone comes to me and needs something and I know you have the answer, I'm going to say, well, you need to talk to Kwame. Or, hey, have you tried this? Have you checked this out? And that is for any and everything, at work, at home, people I see on the corner. It don't matter what it is. If there's any kind of way I can help, I'm going to do it. And if I can't help you, I'm going to try to at least lead you somewhere, like, well, go this way.
Yeah.
And that's just something that I feel strongly about. And it just kind of guides how I just do everything.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think, and so that it leads me, before we went to break, I was talking about this anti-niche movement. Before, one of the things that, we were pushed on, when I say we, people who are in marketing and or brand strategists, were pushed to kind of get people to get into niches. And a niche, for those who may not know, if you watch some of my episodes before, I deep dive into niching. And that's just kind of like we're getting you into your small little audience and kind of neat. And it's not necessarily small, because I think fashion is a niche, but it's not necessarily a small niche, right? But whatever your niche is, whatever you are hunkering down on to kind of create your community, your village, your tribe, your community building, space, you tend to stay in that space, right? And oftentimes you get pigeonholed into that space, right? And so you then have to kind of create a space for that, create a space for this. And one of the things that I had a lot of fun working with, Nicole's one of the people that I get to test a lot of my strategies on, because she's just like, okay, let's do it. Let's try it. Let's see if it works. And it's so comforting first of all, thank you for trusting me with your brand, and thank you for just being so open to kind of test those different things, because you never know if it's going to work or not, right? And so I'm happy to see that you're growing really fast on TikTok. I'm happy to see that you are just doing the things that people, often, will say, oh, I'm going to do it, or they'll do it for a couple of days and then they'll stop. You've been really consistent. You've been really consistent. And you are actually one of the reasons why we were in one of the data reports that we pulled to talk to Instagram about their algorithm, because I was like, she's doing everything that y'all told us to do, and she's not growing. So either she's blacklisted or something's wrong with y'all, because it's not her. She's literally doing everything that you asked her to do.
That was crazy.
Exactly.
But to your point about the niching thing, it's like somebody like me, a friend of mine gave me the word. I didn't have the word for it, multi-hyphenate. The person that does all the things. Got all kind of stuff in their heads. I struggle with that because I think, those were the early conversations. Like, okay, well, what's your niche? I'm like, what are you talking? What?
Yeah.
I can't just talk about nails.
Right.
Yet.
Yeah.
So what the hell? And I think that's why TikTok, and I know there are people that are very niched on TikTok, yes, but I feel like that's why TikTok, it works so well, because you can go in there 1 minute, you talking about social justice. I'll be talking about infant mortality and how public health is racist. And the next minute I'm like, look at my nails.
Yes. And it doesn't affect your overall algorithm, right?
No.
It's something that people like, oh, I get it, because people are not one thing. And it's so funny because it's like, people will sit there and say, oh, well, that's the gay guy. Me being gay is literally not is the least important thing about me. It's the least interesting thing about me. It's literally, it doesn't encompass all of who I am. I just happen to be a Black man who likes other men.
Yeah.
Particularly Black men. But that's the here and there. You know what I'm saying? And your nail care, although that is a huge thing that you love, it is one of the least things that encompasses all of NicoleDVick. Even public health, that's one of the things that encompasses NicoleDVick as a whole. Being an author is one of the things that encompasses Nicole overall. And so you're only scratching the surface when you see, these influencers and you see these people out there, talking about their interests and whatever. And that's one, like, if there's going to be an evolution in social media, it's going to have to take the route of TikTok, because TikTok does not keep you in a boundary. I'm not a big fan of the actual owners of TikTok, but that's here nor there, right? But it is what it is, But at the end of the day, the structure of TikTok, the algorithm of TikTok, it keeps everybody on an even playing field. And for those who may not know, one of the major differences between Instagram and TikTok is if I post something on Instagram, it's going to take about 20 to 30 days for it to circulate everywhere on Instagram. Because you have priorities first. You have the people who are in the top 1%, who are the high level influencers. Like I'm talking about a million and above, the Kim Kardashians, the Beyoncés, or whatever, that don't need to use hashtags. They just post and it goes viral. And so then you have the mid tiers, and then, the lower levels, or whatever. I hate to say it like that, but, the lower tiers and stuff like that, and then so forth and so on. So it takes a good amount of time for it to circulate. You may get lucky even every now and then if you get a boost, or if you just happen to, get into it, if everything aligns perfectly at that one time. But with TikTok, it takes 24 hours for your post to actually circulate to everyone. Everyone gets a chance. Everyone is on the same playing field.
Yeah, and it's so crazy. And one thing I also love about TikTok, and I'm sure the other ones are like this too, though, you can really start to curate your feed to look like what you want it to look like, and you see the thing that you really want to see. So I see all the social justice stuff. and all, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then you can just kind of interact. You can slice it or whatever they call it, or you can do the thing and then stitch it and add your own commentary. So I think that's so cool. And it's so funny that they're trying to shut TikTok down in the United States. I'm like,
interesting. I mean, I get it. I understand, but the reasoning, if they were to actually provide the real reasoning behind why they should have some jurisdiction or some jurisdiction over TikTok, then it would make more sense. But you have the right that gives this BS type, commentary about like, oh, we're worried about the children. Meanwhile, you don't give a damn about the gun laws.
You ain't worried about no children. It's never about the children.
It's never about the children for you, girl.
And that's one thing I love about T.S. Madison. She will always say it because everybody talk it is never about the kids. Y'all always say that. It's not. It's not. You don't care about.
And you don't gotta lie, Craig.
Right.
It's never about the kids.
You don't even like your kids.
You don't. We don't see them. Well, Nicole, I could talk to you literally forever. Oh my God. Like you are just, I have to have you on again. I know you've been on Power Hour. Shout out to my co-host, Kyrie. But this is a different vibe. This is a different space. And I like to have a chill vibe. I like to talk more and go in depth with our guests on Power Hour, or excuse me, on Kwame Speaks. And so thank you for taking the time out. Because I know you are a busy woman. Okay. You're out there, you're fighting for the right to party. You're out there, you're doing God's good work. And so I want to thank you for taking the time out to come over to this little side of the corner. And please, when you get your doctorate, please don't forget about me.
Oh, impossible.
Well, for those who may not know, how can they find you, sis?
Everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. I got a website. Everything is NicoleDVick. We just rebranded. Everything is NicoleDVick. Put that D in there now, because there's another Nicole Vick in the Midwest. That's not me.
It's not her. No.
Now, listen,
Nicole has done something that I keep telling my clients and some of y'all to do. Little free brand strategy real quick. Everything on social media, your entire online presence should match. You shouldn't be Bob Joe over here and Joe Bob over there. It's hard to find you. Okay? All right. So if you can keep the same branding across all social media platforms, if you can, because it really helps people find you.
Okay.
Anyway. Well, Nicole, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I love you so much. Did you have any final words for the peoples?
No.
All right.
Just keep watching Kwame Speaks and supporting Pyro Media Network. There you go. That's it.
Pyro fam, here it is. All right. I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for joining. If you have not done so already, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And don't forget to check out NicoleDVick live every Thursday at 6:15 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Check out your local listings for other time zones. We're on the West Coast over here, so that's all I know. All right. But I love you guys. I love you, Nicole. Thank you so much. And until then, create a great day. Bye, guys.
If you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Pyro Media Network's YouTube channel for more awesome content. Plus, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss when we go live or upload new videos. Visit pyromedianetwork.com today, not just to check out our incredible roster of talented creatives, but also to gain access to exclusive bonus material available only to our Pyro fam. Show your support for this Black-owned indie network by donating today. Help us keep igniting brands everywhere.